While the longer this pandemic goes on and as isolation continues, mental health professionals have been sounding the alarm, and many levels of government are responding with new funds and initiatives. And to add to that concern, Canadians are apparently consuming more alcohol. For more on this, let's go to CTV pollster and chairman of the Nanos Research Group, Nik Nanos. Nik, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Andrea.
All right, so you asked Canadians if they're drinking more during the pandemic. Tell us, what did you find?
Well, in this new study that was just released that was done for the Canadian Centre on Substance Use and Addiction, what we found was that about 18% of Canadians report increased alcohol consumption as a result of the COVID situation.
All right, and what are Canadians saying the reason is behind the increased drinking?
Yeah, what's interesting is that there are a combination of factors, it seems. For those individuals that did report drinking more, the three top drivers had to do with no schedule or the schedule changing, boredom, or stress. So we have to think of, for that minority of Canadians that are drinking more, those are the three primary drivers that give us some sort of insight as to what might be explaining the behavior for this minority of Canadians that is drinking more.
And what demographics in particular are upping their alcohol consumption?
Well, what we found in the research that we did for the CCSA is that it's more likely to be Canadians under 54 years of age. And I think this points to the fact that those are probably the Canadians that are disrupted the most, because they're the ones that potentially are not at work, might be teleworking, might have kids at home. And as a result, because the schedule is changing, it looks like that's having at least some sort of material impact on that 18% of Canadians, at least, that are drinking more.
And Nik, you mentioned one of the reasons behind the drinking is boredom. A lot of Canadians are being forced to stay indoors. What are we seeing on that front?
Well, you know, the thing is in the same survey that we did for the CCSA, about 19 out of every 20, or 94% of Canadians, report staying at home more than usual, about 5% the same, and about 1% less. What this speaks to is that basically right now, this lockdown and the self-isolation that is gripping the nation and that health authorities have asked for is actually taking grip, and that most Canadians do report that they're spending more time at home and that they're at home as part of this battle to fight the COVID war.
Nik, thank you so much for that insight. Once again, that is Nik Nanos, CTV pollster and chairman of the Nanos